have a whole program, we have a whole structure which is being followed. And every year we have cohorts, we have groups who graduate, who publish articles, and who learn about research, about different researches that they can conduct. And then they also go on to become mentors. And then they also teach other students about research. So that's the whole basic idea about peer research mentorship program. Moving on, why do we choose PRMP, or why did we come up with the idea of PRMP? As you know, specifically in the third world countries, for example, India, Pakistan, we do have research curriculum in our universities. We do have research lectures. We are told about research. We are taught about different kinds of research, but what we are not given are research resources. What we are not given are research mentors. There is no one to help us, guide us in a specific manner to start from the basic and to take us to an end, to take us to a publication. So no one's doing that for us. So our whole purpose was that we need to provide this gap that we have found. We need to fill this gap in a manner that is affordable for everyone, and which is also the best possible way to perform this task, right? So our mentors from all over the world, they are excellent. They have great clinical skills. They have great research skills. They are either students themselves, or they are doctors, they are clinicians, or they are well-reputed research scholars as well, just like Dr. Purva here, right? Dr. Purva, would you like to say a few words?
No, please go on. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So, so that was about PRMP. Now, moving on to our parent organization, which is ISCI, International Society for Chronic Illnesses. This was started by Dr. Purva, and the vision behind this organization was to identify chronic illnesses, spread awareness about it, and enable people to understand these conditions and then to tackle these conditions. So the whole idea from this International Society of Chronic Illnesses was to enable the people around the world to understand chronic illnesses, and then to help themselves or to help the people around them who are suffering from chronic illnesses, right? And as medical students, as research scholars, it is our responsibility to help spread this awareness, and we can help spread this awareness from various methods. They can be seminars, webinars. We can do it in person. We can do it in hospitals. We can do it in teaching institutes, and we can also do it via research. Hence, peer research mentorship program was also established to further this mission of International Society for Chronic Illnesses. And then over here at PRMP, we focus on research which is being conducted on chronic illnesses. Our topics, our ideas are mainly focused on chronic illnesses. We focus on highlighting illnesses which span approximately 6 months or more, right? So they are defined as chronic illnesses. So that is the whole purpose of ISCI, and peer research mentorship program is just helping that purpose, and at the same time is also helping medical students to learn research. Right. So ISCI, as I've said, is an international program. We have a number of collaborations. Two of them we have highlighted over here. One is PRMP and the other is ARCCI. ARCCI is also an international collaborative where we are collaborating with other research organizations from different parts of the world to conduct different kinds of research. They can be systematic reviews or meta-analysis. They can be cross-sectional studies or cohort studies. They can be surveys. Another organization that I can mention here is International InnoRisk Organization, who we are also participating. And currently, we also have a number of international projects going on where we are collaborating with other organizations, and a number of organizations, not just one or two, like a number of organizations, and we are publishing those articles, and of course, so for global recognition as well, and to further our basic mission of promoting awareness about chronic illnesses. We also have a number of events throughout the year. Specifically, we have these induction sessions, and then we have annual conferences by ISCI. In those annual conferences, all ISCI members are able to participate, and all PRMP members are also allowed to participate, and we welcome outsiders as well. Specifically, PRMP is given a chance to have a poster competition in that annual conference. Our annual conference for this year will be starting from tomorrow. It will be held over Saturday and Sunday. And in that annual conference, PRMP groups who have completed their projects, who have published articles, they are allowed to present. And then that poster presentation and oral presentation can be first of all, that oral presentation is eligible for awards. We have judges who give awards, and then you can also put those awards and those oral presentations in your CV as well, because you are recognized for it. So that's one of the major events regarding PRMP, which is being conducted by ISCI. Right. So moving forward, now you can join PRMP as a mentee, or you can join PRMP as a mentor. And then once you are part of our organization, you can also move up the ladder and become a leader. So I'll just share a few leadership positions over here, along with the current leaders who are holding those positions. So first of all, we have our director, who's Dr. Kuba. Then we have two positions for deputy directors, one of which is being occupied by me right now, and the other one is currently empty. Now, apart from these two positions, we have deputy directors for research, and then we have those deputy directors for research specific to different research types. So for systematic reviews and meta-analysis, we have different deputy directors, and for observational studies and case reports, we have different deputy directors. The purpose for having different deputy directors for each type of article is to ensure that the structure of our organization is in a manner that is feasible for all mentees and mentors, right? Uh, this allows each deputy director to oversee a specific number of groups and to make sure that all of those groups are working in the best possible manner. They are working efficiently and all timelines and guidelines are being followed properly. Now, under each of these directors are certain mentors, and those mentors are leading groups of mentees, which can be up to 10 mentees per mentor, or they could be less, or they could be more, depending on the number of mentees that we receive every year. Right. So another very important task over here, which is highlighted, is that each deputy director is also responsible for substituting mentors whenever they are busy. The reason why we are highlighting this here is to tell you that as mentees, you do not need to worry about uh, your mentor being inactive, right? If your mentor is inactive, your deputy director will step in and they are going to take up the work of your mentor and ensure that as a mentee, you are getting every possible guidance and there is no hindrance to you becoming a published author, right? So you learning something new. So every deputy director is going to make sure that for every inactive mentor, they step in and they guide you in their place, right? All right. So we also have a deputy director for logistics. We have a grant committee. We have an ideas and innovation committee, a manuscript review and submission committee. Now, all of these committees and directors, they have specific tasks to ensure that our organization is working smoothly and efficiently, that there are no hiccups being faced, that everyone is having a chance to voice their opinions. Everyone, if anyone is facing any issues, they are able to reach out to the senior leadership and we can in turn help them resolve their issues, right? So that is a general overview of the leaders. Moving forward, now peer research mentorship program is active since 2021, and every year we have patients where we have multiple groups, and then those groups they publish papers, and we are collecting that data to understand how successful our work is being, right? So as you can see over here, we have a total number of completed papers of 12 in the August to December 21 rotation. That is a very big achievement for us because this was like the beginning phases of our organization. Now over here, you can also see that there is a group dropout rate right at the top. You can see a group dropout rate of 40%. It is very important to note this. Why are we telling you that there is a group dropout rate of 40%? We are telling you this because 40% of the groups were inactive by the end of the rotation. They could be inactive due to mentor inactivity, they could be inactive due to mentee inactivity. And to break that up, we are telling you that it was 20-20 each. So 20% of the mentors were inactive and 20% of the mentees were inactive, due to which the groups were unable to perform their task. Now, if I move on to the next rotation, you'll see that the group dropout rate has dropped to 16%, right? And the mentor-mentor dropout rate is down to 8%. The reason of showing this is that we want to encourage you to become active in your groups, and we want to tell you of methods, of ways to remain active. And we will also highlight at the end of this presentation the points where we feel uh, the mentees drop out or the mentors drop out, right? All right. So the July to June 23 rotation is currently going on. Right. So for mentees, we have certain prerequisites which need to be followed. And then the mentees have certain responsibilities and then the benefits that they will be receiving, right? So we encourage our mentees to be as active as possible, as regular as possible in their meetings, right? And to communicate within the group at least once a week, right? And to communicate with their mentors as much as possible, right?
Any issue, Abdul?
Sorry, I think I got disconnected for a second.
No problem.
All right. So as a mentor, every mentor is given specific guidelines to help the mentees. Number one is being responsible. Number two is communicating effectively. And then there's a whole list, right? So our mentors make sure that every mentee is being that they are talking to every mentee and they are answering each and every one of their questions, and then they are also imparting the knowledge that they have to each of the mentees, right? And then these mentors, they have the knowledge and the skills that they are going to give to you, and then they will ask you to choose your own path in this mentorship program. They will ask you to set deadlines, they will ask you to choose your own topic, they will ask you to choose your own journals to publish. However, at the end, they are going to guide you. However, at the end, it will be their final say that what the timeline is going to look like, what the topic is going to be, what the journal you are going to publish is going to be, to avoid any difficulties or to avoid any conflict between the mentees, right? However, for the mentees, we want to encourage collaboration. We want to encourage you to work mutually and to understand each other, right? And we want you to be active. That is the main point. What we see throughout the year is that mentees, they start off very actively, but 2 months into the mentorship program, uh, mentees start to drop out or they become inactive. And then what happens is that when one mentee is being given a task, the mentor is expecting that mentee to finish that task within a set deadline, because then they have to move towards publication. Now, if a mentee is inactive or if a mentee has taken a task and they are not completing that task, then it becomes very difficult for the mentor to get the article completed in due time, right? So please make sure that if you are unable to perform a task, you should inform your mentor to give that responsibility to someone else. And then once you are available, you can take up some other task and complete that. In our mentorship program, we ensure that every mentee is given an authorship, is given acknowledgement for whatever work they do and according to the work that they do. So no one will be overcompensated and no one will be undercompensated, right? Everyone, it is going to be a fair dealing. And to ensure this, our deputy directors and then our director, we regularly stay in touch with the mentors. We have a whole system where the mentors is giving feedback to us about each of the mentees, and we also take feedback from them, and then we make sure that everything is being done in a fair manner. right? So moving forward, some important points that I would like to highlight over here is that for observational studies, if you want to conduct an observational study, you will have to see that whether your institution allows you to conduct such studies, right? Because you need to get the institutional review board approval if you are aware. So for that, if, for example, a group wants to perform an observational study, they have an ethics committee that they can consult, and if they can, then will they allow them to conduct an observational study on an international scale where students from different parts of the world are participating, right? Next, for case reports, we encourage mentees to find a case, right? And it is always better if you have a case from beforehand instead of finding one after starting the program, right? And then again, if if a mentee is coming up with a case report, we need to ensure that their university does not have any issue with them sharing that data to with students from outside their country, right? And then just some general points, like if you are uncomfortable with sending, as I've already highlighted, that you need to communicate with your mentor, right? If you do not want to communicate on the group, if you do not want to communicate with other mentees regularly, you should inform your mentor and you should set expectations which you will be able to fulfill, right? So you can reach out to your mentor will be very helpful. They are going to understand whatever you are going to tell them. So just reach out to them and tell them or whatever your issue is, whatever your problem is, or if you are unable to follow a task, if you are unable to meet a deadline, right? Or if so, some people are not very they are not very okay with talking on the group. They are not very okay with sending in long messages on the group. So you can just send in messages to your mentor directly. You are allowed to do that, right? Right. And the last point, if your work is better than your group, if you take more initiative, it will be noticed by the leadership. So as I've already highlighted, in the annual conferences, we have awards. We have awards for poster presentations, for oral presentations. We also have awards for best mentee, mentor, research project, and the research group. And last year as well, we also had a best mentee mentor award. We had a research project award. And this year as well, we will be giving awards to the best mentor, the best mentee. And we have a system uh, for finding out who the best mentor is, for finding out who the best mentee is, and then we give them awards. So the more initiative that you take, the better that you perform in a group, the more active that you are, the more collaborative that you are, it will all go in your plus points to becoming a best mentee or a best mentor, right? So some frequently asked questions. If you guys have any questions until now, feel free to send them in the chat, and someone from the team is going to note them down, and then we are going to answer your specific questions right after this presentation. I would just like to highlight some frequently asked questions over here, and you can also read them on the slides. So how do I join? I think most of you have already joined the PRMP. You have already gone through the process of filling our form on the website, and then the assignment that was given to you, you have already completed it. And if not already, you will be getting an email very soon, most probably today or tomorrow, whether you have been selected for the peer research mentorship program or not, right? And if you have been selected, congratulations. If you haven't been selected, no worries. You will either be contacted like in a few months, because we have our mentees and mentors are on a rolling basis, so the opportunity keeps coming. So if you are not selected right now, you will be selected in a short amount of time, right? And then you can apply again as well. Now the next question is, do I have to pay any fees? No, it's free of cost. And then the duration of the project. So we are running projects for 1 year from July to June. The reason for that is most of the mentees and mentors are medical students, so they have exams in the duration of November, December, Jan, Feb. So usually during these 4 5 months, mentors and mentees become inactive. So we ask our mentors and mentees to do a certain amount of tasks in the first half and a certain amount of tasks in the second half, and in the mid they can take a break for their exams, right? However, please make sure that you complete your article, you complete your project by June 30th maximum, in 2024 to be eligible to get a completion certificate. If groups are unable to follow this deadline, they will not be able, they will not be eligible for a certificate of completion. They might still complete their project and publish. However, at this stage, we are not that they will not be eligible for a certificate of completion for the program, right? Now, the next question is who decides these groups? So these groups are decided by the Prmp leadership, and your assignments are used as a filtering tool. We go through each of the assignments, and then we shortlist students who we feel have completed the assignment in the best possible manner and who have answered our questions in the best possible manner. And then we shortlist those students. And the students who are not shortlisted uh, in the first phase, they will be shortlisted later on, right? So again, don't be disheartened. You will be asked to join this program at some point. All right. So expected time commitment. This is very important. I'm emphasizing this again and again. Please commit what you can actually give to the program, right? So we expect 6 to 7 hours from from each mentee. If you are unable to give that, please inform your mentor in advance so that the expectation that they have from you is reasonable, right? Do not overcommit and then under deliver. That will affect your group and the other mentees who are working. They will also be affected. So please be mindful of this. Right. So again, this is an online program. So everything is flexible. Your timing is flexible. Your deadlines are flexible. Your work is flexible. Everything can be done via email, right? Everything can be done over WhatsApp. So as long as you interact with your peer mentees and your mentor, you can decide how you want to move forward with this project, where you want to communicate, how you want to set the deadline, right? So if you do not want to work during the day, you can work at night. If you do not want to work at night, you can work during the day. If you want to work over weekends, you can set your deadline according to that. If you have exams coming up, tell your mentor and your peer mentees that I will be unavailable in this time period. So in that manner, you will be easily able to accommodate everyone. Again, I've already told you this, that you will be getting an email for confirmation. Who will decide the authorship sequence? Now, this is very important. As I've already highlighted, that each we ensure that each mentee is being treated fair, right? So the mentors have a whole sheet where they log each mentee's activities. They log each and every task that a mentee performed, even if it's a very simple task like creating the meeting minutes for every meeting that you have. So every mentee who creates meeting minutes for a meeting, the mentor is going to log that task in a sheet, right? They will know at the end of the project that a mentee has, for example, created 10 meeting minutes throughout the whole year, and another mentee has created only one meeting. So I'm just giving you an example. Even small things like these are being recorded by mentors, and they will count towards your authorship in the end. So the mentee who will be working the most, who will have completed the most tasks in the given deadline, they will of course be given a higher authorship compared to a mentee who is very inactive and who is not working, right? And then the ICJME criteria is followed for this authorship sequence as well, right? So everything is transparent and everything is according to the book. All right. So where can you publish? You can publish in any PubMed Index journal, right? You can decide and you can send in your. For this, the leadership is also going to help you in deciding which journal you can publish in, and we can also help you in finalizing the journals as well as your product. Now, one important thing over here is that will you be allowed to should you publish in a journal which charges a fee? So we encourage to publish in a journal which does not charge any fee. However, if you are publishing in a journal which is charging any fee, so the fee would be divided equally amongst all mentees. It is not encouraged. We encourage our mentees to publish in journals which do not charge a fee, right? Now, the next question is who will decide the research question? Now, mentees are your mentor is going to ask each and every mentee to suggest a topic. You will be given a few days time to search and to come up with a topic and then suggest. And then in the end, there will be voting for that topic. And then the mentor is going to have the final say in deciding that topic, right? However, again, you should make sure that your topic revolves around chronic illnesses because that is the whole idea behind our organization. All right. So I've already covered this question. Right? You won't have to travel because this is a remote mentorship. There is no paid position for mentorship. Everything's free. And then how many individuals? So approximately 10 mentees, depending on the number of mentees we are getting every year. And then, yes, so can you present the paper that you've done in the PRMP rotation? So yes, you can. You will have to inform your group. You will have to take their permission. You will have to decide who will be presenting. If you want to present, then you can take permission from your co-authors. You can present your project in the annual conference of ISCI as well, and in any other conference outside of ISCI as well, right? But the point is that you need to take permission from your co-authors, right? And then what kind of projects can we perform? So we can perform almost all sorts of projects: meta-analysis, systematic review, observational studies, case reports, case series. So nearly all of the projects we are doing in our organization. Right. So what's next? The annual conference. It's going to be tomorrow and the after tomorrow. All of you will be invited to participate in this project and get to know more about ISCI and PRP. And then the next thing that we are doing is an international study that I mentioned in the beginning. It's known as the resonance study, and it is being conducted with other organizations from all over the world. And it is basically a cross-sectional study, and we are collecting data about effectiveness of mentorship in low, middle, and high income countries. All right. So the last thing is the productivity week social media. And I think, Dr. Puba, would you like to explain this?
Sure, Abdul. So first of all, thank you so much for giving such clear and concise information about PRMP. Amazing job. And regarding Productivity Week, it's a new program that we are going to focus on this year. For the last 2 years, ISCI focused on research. This year, 100% research is going to be one of our priorities, but we are going to introduce productivity for our members as well. So for this social media competition, it's a fun activity, just like the one we performed right now. So you have to share 2 pictures with us, one in your most productive state. So you might be doing your research project, or you might be studying for your exams, or you might be having a meeting just like this one, or you might be working out in the gym. So you can share that one picture of your most productive self. And then the second picture can show that you are enjoying and relaxing. It can be with your friends and family. It can be you with a book and a cup of coffee. It can be you taking a walk in nature, anything which relaxes you, which you enjoy. And you can share both these images with this particular email ID in.soc.chronicillnesses@gmail.com. And we will be posting this on our social media handle. And you can put an interesting caption with the image. And yeah, we will be reviewing all the posters, and those with the most number of likes, most interesting captions, most interesting pictures will be winning. And we have a productivity week set up. So in the second week of June, we are going to have a tight group of 10 people whom we are going to be in touch continuously to enhance the productivity of the entire group as a whole. We are going to monitor their diet, their sleep, their productivity at work, that's sleep, studying, or doing research, or doing extracurriculars, working out, all of that. So yeah, that's about it. Over to you, Abdul.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Bhuva. So I think this is going to be a fun week, and we are going to see a lot of pictures because we did see some very crazy ideas in the activity. So I'm looking forward to this week. All right. So moving on, I think this is the last question. So what happens if I leave a project in between? So of course, if you are unable to complete a project and you decide to drop out of that project, then you will not be eligible for authorship or certification, right? So I think that is a very fair thing. So if you are unable to continue with your project, so then you will be dropped from this program. And I think that's about it. Right. So we can move on to the questions part. And
All right.
could we read
Okay.
out the question? Yeah.
Sure, Abdul. Actually, I can take over for this part of the conversation. Thank you. I have managed to answer a few questions that were in the beginning, and now I'll start reading one by one. The first one is, I did not know about the assignment. Can we still apply? So I have mentioned it. If you have not been able to submit the assignment, just wait for a few months. If mentee positions open up, you will be given, all of you who have registered for July 22 to June 24 rotation, you all will be given a second assignment, those who were not selected for the first cohort. And on getting selected for the second assignment, you will be enrolled on a rolling basis. I'm confused regarding the assignment. I filled the conference form, Prmp application. I'm not sure about the membership form, what to do. So there was an assignment where you had to read a research paper and you had to fill a Google form for critical appraisal. And Malika, could you mention in the chat box if you have received an email? If you did not receive it in your inbox, please check your spam, because our emails tend to go to spam folder. So please add us to your contact list as well, so that the emails from prmpleadership@isci.info do not go to your spam folder. I have filled application and Prmp application. Can I still join July 23 cycle? So Aslam, unfortunately, the deadline for submitting for this particular cycle has passed. If you have filled this application form this month, then you must have filled it for the next cohort, which starts next year. But if you're interested in joining this year, then please email prmpleadership@isci.info. It'll be very difficult to have you join us because we have a lot of mentees and very few mentors. I have no experience with any kind of research. Am I still eligible to apply? How will mentees be supported in this regard? So it's completely fine if you have no experience with any kind of research. So if you do not have any experience, I suggest you start with the bottom of the evidence-based pyramid. Some of you might know what evidence-based pyramid is, some of you might not. So at the base, there is short communication. It can be a letter to editor, a correspondence piece, a commentary. You start with that, you move on to case reports, case series. And if you have some experience with these type of basic research, you move on to observational studies. And following which you can move on to systematic revision, meta-analysis. So that's how we have structured the entry of mentees. And mentees will be supported by mentors through monthly meetings. We are going to share with you a terms and conditions form when you join your groups, and further details about the frequency of your meetings and when you the deadline when you have to respond to your mentor's questions. All of that is mentioned in the terms and conditions form. If we have completed the assignment given to us, are we selected for the program? Most of the assignments that we received, they have been selected. Some of them have not been selected because there were several reasons. One, it was just yes and no they've mentioned. There was no information in the comment section. So our thinking process is like, if you cannot write 5 to 6 sentences in the comments box, then it will be difficult for you to write a 3,000, 2,000 word manuscript. So that was one screening criteria we used. Second, there were 2 to 3 copy pasted answers. And third, copy pasted from the same person. So that was one thing. Third, there was plagiarized content. Some of you might not know what plagiarism is. Some of you might. When you copy paste information from any published literature without citing, if you copy paste directly, that is plagiarism, short and sweet. If you paraphrase it, then it cannot be in active and passive voice. You have to completely write it in your own words. So some of these things we have taken seriously: plagiarism, copy pasting somebody else's work, and not giving us enough writing to show that you are good in grammar, you can write scientifically. Where should I get the form, PRMP and membership form? So it is in the ISCI PRMP website. Could someone share the link to ISCI PRMP webpage? If you scroll down at the bottom, there is a form. All right. Where can we get the membership and application form? Yeah. So somebody will share the link with you on the message box. Do I have any chance to still join July? Yes. Just fill the PRMP form and email to prmpleadership@isci.info. All right. I see Poojan has shared the form. Thank you, Poojan. I'll just share it once again. So we are pretty lenient in accepting mentees. The reason is we just need you to be interested. We need you to be hardworking. We need you to be sincere. Other things we will manage, right? So email us, we will try our best, but that is where the line is drawn, right? If mentee positions open up, we will accept new people. I don't think I received any email regarding any assignments. So Navya, could you email the same email ID, prmp leadership@isci.info. So Jyotika and Rabia, they are looking after all the emails that we receive, and we will look into it. We'll see if you received an email or not. And yeah, we'll get back to you on that. Is this mandatory for everyone to get into the social media productivity week? It's not a mandatory thing. You can join if that is something you are interested in, if productivity is something that you think will help you perform your tasks better. I haven't received a second assignment or the selection result for the first assignment. Are the emails coming soon? Yes, they will be coming by Tuesday night time. And we have made the selection. The mentee selection list is there with us. We just have to email them to you. So we'll be done by Tuesday. I wrote an article on my own and need guidance on how to publish it. Do mentors assist with that too? Yes. Mentors can assist with that, but the topic of the article has to be something that the mentor might be interested in, and it should be related to chronic disease, long-term illnesses, because that is how it will form. It will come under the umbrella of ISCI, right? If it is not, then we can help you individually outside of PRMP by connecting you with an interested mentor. So you can email us about this particular. Wait for it. Wait for your groups to be formed. Talk to your mentor. If it doesn't work out, let us know. We will connect you with another mentor individually. I received an email, but there is no assignment. That we will look into. So Malika and Navya have not received. Could you mention your full names, Navya and Malika, if you have not received the assignment? And Jyotika and Rabia will look into it. I did submit the email, but did not receive any confirmation yet. Yes, the confirmation is going to come by Tuesday nighttime. What's the criteria for mentor? So for mentor, you have to have at least one publication in that particular research project. So for example, I want to be an observational study mentor. So I should have at least one observational study. It can be cross-sectional, cohort, case control, any type. And my name should be in the first 5 authors of that particular paper. So that is the criteria. Harapurva, thanks for the session. Sadly, I'll have to leave. No problem. James representative. All right. Thank you so much. So James Mauritius is one of our promotional and research partners, and their representative Abhishek was with us. Thank you, Abhishek. How much time will it take for a case report to get published in a PubMed index journal? That depends on the journal. Some journals can publish it within a month even. Some are very fast, and some journals take over a year. So it depends on their peer review process. Some journals give you an option to select fast track publication, but that requires money, and PRMP projects are not funded by PRMP. So if all the authors are okay with pitching in for the publication, feel free to do so. We don't mind that. But one important point is that PRMP does not support any monetary transaction. So if a mentor or a mentee is asking for funds to join the research project, that is not a PRMP project. PRMP projects do not need you to pay any money for mentorship. That's an important thing to note down. Now, I was not able to complete the assignment given last month due to, all right, showcase everything. Completed narrative review. Yes, Swastik. So I have replied to you, I believe. So Swastik, if you have not submitted the assignment, we will, in a few months, just wait a few months, you will receive another assignment. And as soon as you are done with that, we will be able to add you to the new cohort. This is contingent on the fact that mentee positions should be open. I'm pretty sure they will be open, but we'll have to wait. There was no comment section in the form. There was no comment section in the form. You were talking about the PRMP application form that is present on the PRMP webpage that we just shared. The comment section that we are talking about is the Google form that we emailed you. So Afia Sheikh, could you mention if you got our email with the critical appraisal form and the research project? Nania Malik, I agree with Afia, couldn't find the comment section. So also one thing, if yours was a case report, you might not have a comment section. So all the case report submissions we checked, and those which were outliers, we are going to talk to them separately. So case report won't have any comment section. If we have been selected for meta-analysis group and we want to learn about cohort. So in this particular, this year, we are not going to have one mentee join two groups, only one group per mentee, but you can choose to do multiple projects in your own group. There have been PRMP groups which have completed 3 systematic reviews during their cohort, or which have completed 2 to 3 case reports. And it's not just publication that we are looking for. See, when you start a research project, number one, you are getting a research experience. You are a research mentee in an organization that comes under research experience for your CV. Second, you can, if it's a systematic review, you can publish the protocol in Prospero. Or if it's a cohort, if it's an observational study, you can publish it in registries like OSF, just like I shared the link, OSF registry link for our RESMEN study. You get that non-peer reviewed publication. Then third, you get a paper publication. Your manuscript is published, you get published in a peer-reviewed journal. Fourth, you can present that particular paper in conferences. And PRMP gives opportunities for you to present in our own conference as well. So you have an experience under paper presentation. And fifth, you are able to make connections with researchers from over the world. You can, so it's not compulsory for the PRMP projects to be completed by only those group members. If you have a senior author, an associate professor in your home country or in the West, or wherever you want to go for in residency, you want to make connections, you can invite them to join your research project. So whenever I do any narrative review or any systematic review, I email a professor where I want to work, in the hospital where I want to work. I just email them, I have written this manuscript, could you please review it? And by that, I'm making a connection. I can get an LOR out of this particular connection. So make the most out of each research project. Shlok, I see that you have raised your hand. So would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question? Otherwise, I'll move to the next. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Hi, Burwa and everyone from the PRMP team. So I don't think we covered this before. Maybe we did, but I had a question. Say we are obviously going to try our very best to create the best manuscript ever, for like what we can do, but it's not going to be cutting edge, right? So I think the problem is always lies, from my experience, it always lies in the selecting the journal. So do we have a committee or somebody who just somebody that could help us with the journal part? Because that's what I think is the toughest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Shlok. So till now, we did not have anybody helping the groups to select their journals and publish. But this year onwards, we are going to have the PRMP leadership that is there, the deputy directors for research. They are going to help you find journals. Not only that, whatever research topic that you choose, they are going to help you review it, and they're going to comment on it and make suggestions for you to increase the novelty of the research question. So these two things are very important for us student researchers in a way. So selecting a novel and falling in the finer criteria research topic, and then selecting a journal. So we are going to help you with that. There is a list of PubMed indexed 0 APC, there's article processing charge journals. So we're going to share that with you, and hopefully we'll get selected. Is that, did I answer your question, Shlok?
Definitely, that makes me feel comfortable. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, moving to Hanan Furkan's question. Will we be assigned topics and teams by the organization? We are going to assign you teams. The topics will be decided by the teams. So mentors and mentees can decide the topic of their research project, but they have to be vetted by the PRMP leadership. So that is an important thing. Hello, I joined the meeting late. Wanted to know whether you have already informed mentees who we have not informed who has been selected. We are going to share with you that information by, okay, Abdul has answered. Thank you so much, Abdul. So Navya and Malika have written their full name. Jyotika, could you note that down and we'll just check if they have received the email or not.
Sure, check it.
Thank you. Also, Anika Ahmed has not received. Alisa is saying didn't receive assignment. So Alisa James also did not receive. Do we publish in Curious? That's fine. Curious does not have a very good reputation, but our this thing is PubMed index journals. So they can be any journal, then it's fine, whichever journal you choose to do. Can you please guide how to do peer review in an article? Peer review is something which is done behind the scenes in journals. So I actually wanted to get this experience myself. So that's why I joined the International Journal of Medical Students as a student reviewer. So feel free to join such journals as student reviewers. Then you can move up the ladder. Now I'm an associate reviewer at the HPHR journal. So start becoming reviewers for journals. How to review? There is a whole 3 to 4 hour session about how to peer review articles. I won't be able to teach you that right now. I'm so sorry. Can a mentee suggest topics or ideas for the projects? Is the topic prefixed? It's not prefixed. Mentees can definitely suggest topics. And if it's an interesting idea and the mentor also agrees, then yeah, after getting vetted by the PRMP leadership, go for it. You can get started with your projects. Will we have to pay for publications if not for mentorship? Yeah, so if you are going to publish in a journal which requires an article processing charge, the cost of publication will have to be bared by all the authors. One thing I need to note here is that it is very difficult for funds to be transferred from one country to another. So I would suggest go for free journals and not paid journals. It can lead to messy situations. Yeah, that's about it. But you don't have to pay anything to PRMP or anything to PRMP mentors for that matter. For short communications, does the rotation cover only one publication, or can we collaborate with more than one publication for more than one? Yeah, of course. So in short communications, they're a beautiful thing. You can complete a short communication in about 2 weeks. So 15 days, just get done with one, submit, start with another one. So if you have time, go for it. Why not? But it's important to complete a project before you start a new one. As Abdul mentioned, don't take too much and then deliver very little. So that's a very, very important point. I have filled the form for PRMP yesterday, did not get any email confirmation. I don't know whether I am in or not. So Sarah, if you filled the PRMP form yesterday, you will receive an email about 1 year from now, unfortunately, because the form that you filled is for the next cohort that will be starting next year. I'm really interested in volunteering for ISCI. I love to hear more about positions. Yeah, 100%. We are always in need of manpower. So thank you, Abul Masroor, for your interest. You can contact, I'll share the email ID with you. It's contact@isci.info. At isci.info. At the moment, we might be a little bit involved with our annual conference. So you might not receive any response from us for about a week. but that's about it. You'll receive a response in a week's time. All right, where was I? Abul Maslood, it's done. Amrita, can we present a paper before its publication? That's a good question. And a lot of mentees have actually asked me this question. You can present your paper in a conference only if it has not been published, or only if it has not been accepted for publication by any journal. That is a rule. So I hope that answers your question. You should present a paper before publication. You cannot do it after publication. Can you tell us more about the Restman study and how we can participate? So Mariam, you can, Abdul, how should we tackle this question? So how do we, whom should we ask them to contact? Should we ask them to contact Ariba or Rohit? They're the research coordinators, right?
Yes, I think so. If Ariba or Rohit can share their email.
Yeah, so, or let's make it a bit easier, no? So for Restman study also, let them, Mariam, you can contact at isci.info only. I'll ask Anjali to give them the contact of Rohit and Ariba. Okay, so for Restman study, we have continental representatives. So we have one from Europe, one from Middle East. So basically Asia, we have 2 representatives, then North America, South America, all of that. And then we have research coordinators. The research coordinators help us with managing the data collecting groups. ISCI has about 14 to 15 research partners at the moment. So all the research partners are going to provide their own data collecting groups, and we are going to collect data from their organizations as well as ours. So Mariam, you can send an email to contact@isci.info. That email I just mentioned. I'm so sorry I didn't get the email for assignment. I'm on, yeah, it's on vegan diet and diabetes. Yes. So Jyotika, Navya Jayakrishnan has received the email. Navya, unfortunately, you'll have to wait for the next assignments to roll out. Bhavya Kashish did not receive an email. So Jyotika can note that. Can you name few journals for publishing our studies like systematic review, cross-section study? So off the top of my head, I don't know. And I need to know the topic of your paper, the quality of your paper. It's difficult for me to name journals right now. I can share a list of journals with you. So email me at shahpurva888 on my personal email ID, and I can share that with you. I filled the first assignment. What next? You'll receive that information, Netra, by Tuesday night, the selection for first assignment. Will you do session for peer review in coming months? That's a good question. What I can do is I can share with you free courses which are present, which are given by Science Direct, if I remember correctly. So I myself have completed 2 peer review courses. Just remind me, Amrita, to share those with you. I have the links with me, so I can share that with you for sure. That will definitely add to your CV. It's a good certification course. It will help you write manuscripts also. Which mail do we? Okay, so Abdul has answered that. All right. Apart from Annals of Medicine and Surgery, what are other journals we can publish our research papers like short communication and systematic review? So similarly, Dhruv, I'll share with you a list of journals, but it is difficult for me to select the journals at this moment. I'm so sorry about it. Can we publish the paper after presenting at a conference? Yes, that is the way to go. Like present in a conference, get that experience, then publish your paper in a journal. Do we need to mention presentations in? Yeah. So when you submit your paper for publication in a journal, and if you mention in, say, acknowledgements or anywhere that this paper was presented in so and so conference, if the conference is well established and it's well known, then your paper actually has a higher chance of getting accepted to that journal. So it's a very good thing to mention that this paper has been presented in this particular conference. Recently, I was reading, what was I reading? I was reading a clinical trial, a randomized clinical trial, a multi-centric randomized clinical trial on a tuberculosis paper. We were reading that for our own systematic review. And in that paper, they have mentioned first the pilot study. So they have published their pilot clinical trial that they did. So they have mentioned that we have done a pilot study present here. So they've cited their own paper this way. Second, they have mentioned the protocol that they have published in clinicaltrials.gov. So they have cited their own protocol as well, and that's the correct way to go. Third, they have cited their systematic review. So they conducted a systematic review, a desk research, and they cited that paper as well before conducting this whole clinical trial. And they also did an observational study to check what information is already available before they did the trial. So they did 4 papers, 4 publications, and the 5th one was conference, that they presented this particular paper in a conference. So this is how you share your research work. This is the perfect way to go about how to do research and share research. Sorry, but 1 year is quite a long time. Can you please help me register this year only and start my publication work ASAP? Yes, Sarah, I love your enthusiasm and I understand 1 year is a long time. Just email us and we will try to incorporate you in any of the groups. So, but you will have to give us time, because we have about 10 mentors right now, and we have selected about 120 to 130 mentees, if I'm not wrong. So we're going to give 10 mentees and 1 mentor. That is the ratio we are going for. But we are getting new mentors. Just as I speak, I just received 2 emails from mentors. So don't worry, we are getting new mentors as well. So as soon as we get those, we are going to invite the mentees who are not accepted. Vaishnavi Mishra has not received the email. So Jyotika, I hope Jyotika is, Acha, she's here. Okay. After I filled. Can you please share the course links with me as well? Yes, Shaurya, please email either contact@isci.info or prmpleadership@isci.info. We'll share these links with you. Can you share peer-reviewed course links? Yes, Netra. So let's do one thing. We'll share these links when we share the results. So when we share the results, we are going to share this PowerPoint presentation and this course links. Okay. I love it that you want to learn, you want to do courses. So we can actually share other courses with you too, free of charge certification courses. We'll share with you a list. Can you please share those links via email, everyone? Yeah, regarding peer review sessions. Yeah, agreed. Awesome. Wow, I loved the quality of the questions. The quantity was also quite a lot, no? Okay.
Yeah, it took a substantial time.
Yeah, but I hope all the questions have been answered. I can see IASSS. Manu also is here. So IASSS is also a research partner with ISCI. That's nice. All right. So we will be ending this session in about 10 minutes. So this session, important. Before you leave, please fill this post-session questionnaire. Can someone share the link of the post-session questionnaire? It's important that you fill so that we understand the quality of our this thing. I'm seeing new questions, but before I move to the new questions, let me stop our live session.